Guys, I don't know about you, but I think it's time we had a little bit of a heart-to-heart here. And if you clicked on the episode, it says episode 167, heart-to-heart, because we're about to have a heart-to-heart. We're about to have a heart-to-heart after what I witnessed this past Sunday. And we need to. We really, really need to. It's time to have a heart-to-heart with the Dallas Cowboys, and we're definitely going to have one today. Welcome to Pigskin Frenzy on this beautiful Thursday afternoon. If you see it on YouTube, you can see it's glaring outside, but it is also a chilly day outside and a beautiful fall weather atmosphere for Central Illinois on this lovely Thursday afternoon. Thank you for joining us. I'm Joel Norris, and whether you're watching on YouTube, listening on Spotify, listening on Podbean, listening on Apple, a big thank you for taking some time out of your Thursday to just sit back, watch, and listen to some NFL coverage presented by me. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like each episode, leave comments down below. Spotify, Podbean, and Apple, all you got to do is just share around with others and follow on there as well. X, Instagram, and Facebook, just type in Pigskin Frenzy. Follow out the pages there. You're going to get episode updates. You're going to get news and highlights from across college and NFL football. You're going to get trivia questions on Instagram stories. Go and answer today's NFL question as well as all things of the day for Pigskin Frenzy. Guys, the website, www.pigskinfrenzy.weebly.com. There you're going to find all things up to date for Pigskin Frenzy, home and about me page. Learn more about me as your podcast host. Contact me down below if needed. Email, name, question. I'll answer it on the show or off the show if need be. We also got our platforms page, all the platforms I just mentioned besides Facebook. That was an accident. Go and click on what's your favorite listening style and follow us on X and Instagram from there, as well as our affiliations page, which brings us to our proud partner at the Beard Club. Guys, if you want a great shave and you want to look good, I kind of have a stubble growing. I'm going to probably shave it Friday with our, I use the products from the Beard Club. That's right. Beard Club sale going on right now. 25% off. Early bird sale going on right now. They have a lot to offer. If you want your beard to look fancy, to look not really, if you look scrummy, it doesn't look all that good. You want to make it look good, you go to the Beard Club and make it look good with growth kits, with grooming kits. You have beard balm, beard oil, beard and face wash, vitamins to grow your beard, combs, boar bristle brushes, razors, and more. There's also body wash, 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, loofahs, and more of products from the Beard Club. Significant others of male counterparts, listen up. You're not going to want to miss what I have to say here. Just go to my website, www.pigskinfrenzy.weebly.com. There you'll find all things up to date for Pigskin Frenzy, as well as the Beard Club site. You can go to the affiliations page, click on the affiliations page, click on the Beard Club logo, and you will go to the site. You can also click on my link tree. The link tree is at the description of this YouTube video down below. Click on the description of this YouTube video, go to my X bio, go to my Instagram bio, and you will find the link tree there. Click on the link tree, you'll find the Beard Club link, and it will take you to the site. 25% off with the early bird holiday sale going on with the code EARLYBIRD. That's EARLYBIRD. Early bird is the code. 25% off for the early bird holiday sale for the Beard Club. Beard Club, proud partner of Pigskin Frenzy. It's going to help your grooming needs and facial hair needs be met. Thank you for being our proud partner of the podcast here for Pigskin. NFL day today. Let's get it rocking and rolling. I slammed my hand on the desk, and I'm going to tell you why I slammed my hand on the desk. For just being a genius at football picks. And I say that because 2 weeks ago, I was 0-4. I'm 3-1 this week. I'm 3-1 this week. I had I was 4-0 this week, actually. No, 4-0. Excuse me, 4-0. I went from 0-4 to being 4-0 in my Pigskin Frenzy NFL picks this week. 4-0. I got every game right. Every game right. 3-1 was college. 4-0 was today. I got every game right. So now I'm definitely sorry right now for telling people to pick the opposite a couple of weeks ago, because I am on a roll. 4-0. I'm riding a high. Hopefully we can keep up the momentum with these picks coming up this week, because we got 3 Sunday games and 1 Monday Night Football game that we are covering for week 7. Let's recap week 6, shall we? I cannot wait. We're going to recap week 6. We're going to talk about some of the top 2 trades right now in the NFL, taking it by storm on Tuesday. We're also going to talk about We're also going to talk about who's in and who's out with the Pigskin Frenzy NFL injury report, which was a heartbreaking one this past Sunday. It kind of affected me a little bit, and I felt really, really bad about it. If you are watching on YouTube and you see the glare, I'm sorry. You can still see me. It's just bright and sunny. But if you're listening to me on audio, which a lot of people do and are, thank you. And also thank you because 4,000 listeners. We met our season goal. Our season goal by the end of football season was to try to get 4,000 listeners total for this show, and we are at 4,000 and counting. Thank you for listening to Pigskin Frenzy and being a big part of this podcast. We're continuing to grow from a year and a half to go. I've already built it up to what it is right now, so I appreciate you guys. Our team is coming together. 4,000 listeners. Big thank you there. Let's try to get to 5,000 and keep it going with this show. So let's talk about week 6 because we have a good thing to talk about here. So week 6, Thursday Night Football was last week, as it always is. Tonight, we got the Broncos and the Saints. No, we're not covering it, but just a slight plug on Amazon Prime tonight. But last week we did cover Thursday Night Football, and we're going to cover it now here. We covered it last week. So week 6 recap, rather, all over the place with my notes. Here we go. 49ers and Seahawks on Prime. I picked the Niners to win this game because I thought the offense was kind of it's starting to feel like it's getting to a little bit of a groove. Getting to a consistent rhythm. And they really, really are. They're currently the number 2 offense in the NFL, and they played like it last weekend. I was right. Final score was 49ers 36, Seahawks 24 in a key NFC West matchup. Let's talk about the Niners and how well they played because they really played well. You thought with how well they were running the ball without McCaffrey, just think about what's going to happen when McCaffrey's fully healthy and back with the football team. I do not expect him to be playing this week either. It was said last week that he could have returned at week 7, but it's looking like he's going to return in early November, so possibly he will miss the Super Bowl 58 rematch with the Chiefs as well. But we can talk about that later here. But the Niners right now are on a roll. They have a lot of their guys back. Trent Williams is back on the line. Kittle's back. Samuel's back. They got a lot of their guys back here. Purdy playing really, really well too. If they're playing healthy, they are a top team in the NFC, no doubt. Again, the same thing as last season, because last year when they got hurt, they lost a few games, right? They lost to the Vikings. They lost a couple of games. They lost to the Bengals, where they shouldn't have lost to either. They lost a couple of games, and same as this season, they lost to the Vikings again this year, and they lost a few games that they shouldn't have lost. Now they're finally starting to slowly get into a rhythm here. They are 3-3. They could be 4-3 after this weekend, but we're going to talk about that later. Let's talk about how well they are playing when they are healthy, because this is a big key here. When they're healthy, they are playing well. Brock Purdy played consistent. 18 for 28. Not great, but not bad. He had 255 yards, 3 touchdowns. Isaac Garandino, the rookie out of Louisville, 99 yards on the ground. Jordan Mason had, a little bit beat up in the shoulder, but I think he's okay, and he's probable for this week, I think. 73 yards on the ground. You had Purdy, who had 4 carries with 19 yards on the ground. You also had Deebo Samuel running for 15 yards, but Samuel was a force to be reckoned with catching the ball. 102 yards, a touchdown. Kittle had 2 touchdowns with 58 yards. Ayuk 37, Jennings 37, Jennings 27, and then Juszczyk 10 yards on the carry. So Juszczyk also had a 6-yard touchdown run as well. They're in sync, throwing the ball, running the ball, blocking. They were really, really just scoring at will and moving the ball on the Seahawks defense at will. The Seahawks defense, ever since that Lions game, has kind of gone downhill a little bit. And you can see it by watching how they played the Giants game. We're going to talk about the Seahawks in a minute. But this offense is lethal. They are lethal, and it's on paper that they're number 2. But the thing is, they're playing like it. You know what I mean? When healthy, they are playing like it. Do I think that they are the best team in the NFC? I do not. And I will tell you later in the episode who I think is the best team in the NFC. But in the NFC right now, I think they are one of the best teams in the NFC, and they can become they can become the best if they keep playing, if they keep if they not only beat the best, but do it efficiently with the offense that's going on right now. They are moving the ball quite well. Defensively, still need to get better on some areas at defense. But I will say this: defensively, they need to get better. But I will say this: they are physical and they are playing really, really well on offense, moving the ball down the field. That's pretty much really all you have for the 49ers. Bosa, and they played really good. They had 7.9 yards per play. They killed, and I mean literally obliterated Seattle in the rushing game. 228 yards compared to their 52. Their 49ers rushing defense was pretty good and pretty stout last Thursday. They did not let them run the ball hardly, 52 yards. The Seattle Seahawks had more passing yards, obviously, but total yards, 483 compared to their 358. They were efficient on third down. They allowed 0 sacks. They protected the football quite well, and they won at time of possession. They played really disciplined football and protected the football well, and they moved the ball well too. That's why they won this game. I think the Niners were going to win this game because I thought they were better, period. And that's just me. I think the Seattle Seahawks are good, but they're not better than the Niners right now. Talent-wise, offense-wise, they don't move the ball like they do, and I just felt like this game was going to belong to San Francisco. I just felt it. Now, the Seattle Seahawks were coming back a little bit. I think the big problem with the Niners, they kind of tend to let their foot off the gas. Don't let your foot off the gas. You keep going. If you see an opportunity to where you're going to keep on going and you're going to strike, you see the snake, right? And you see the snake trying to come for you. Get the head of the snake. Chop the head off the snake. And I'm not trying to sound bad saying that, but just it's literally like that, If you're getting attacked, if you're starting to get attacked a little bit, don't let up, right? Don't let up. Defend yourself. Don't let up. Put your foot on the gas, floor it, and keep on going. Don't let up. And I thought the Niners kind of let up just a little bit, because this game was not close, but they made it respectable after just kind of letting their foot off the gas a little bit. But then the Niners came back into their own, moved the ball well late, and got the win. So that's really all you got to say. I think they need to work on a little bit pass defense, a little bit. But other than that, their rushing defense is good. Nick Bosa played really, really well. D-line is a little beat up, but not too. But they can get down. They have some depth on that D-line to where they can hold up. The offense is just lethal right now for the Niners. That offense is just moving the ball at will. Let's see what happens, especially when Christian McCaffrey comes back. I'm curious to see how that offense is going to progress even more when McCaffrey comes back. 36-24 was the final. 49ers 36, Seattle Seahawks 24. Let's talk about the Seattle Seahawks before we move on to the other 3 games and have that heart-to-heart with Dallas, because we need to talk about that in depth. So Seattle didn't protect the football. That's a big key there. They did not protect the football. They were efficient on third down. They kind of moved the ball well on third down and won their battles. I think penalties was a big cost right there. They punted the ball 4 times, 3 turnovers, 9 penalties, and they kind of got beaten time of possession, and that's okay. 3 turnovers is the big problem here. I think they shouldn't have turned the ball over that much. They couldn't run the ball as well either. They kind of made Geno one-dimensional. They kind of pressured Geno Smith as well, and I think that's what really cost them the game here. They just had a lot of momentum taken away from them in a lot of areas. And I think if you just think on it and look at it, that's what really cost them the game at this point. They really couldn't stop the Niners. They couldn't stop them on the ground, through the air. They really couldn't stop them at all. They ran the ball well. When they needed to, late in the game, they were trying to come back on the Niners to make it a game, they needed to stop the run, because all the Niners were going to do is just run the ball and get a first down. They just needed to do that and knee it. Isaac Garandino got the handoff, and he ran it down to the red zone, and the Seahawks led him. Big play at the end to ice the game late for the Niners. Tough break. The defense got caught on its heels late, and that's not what it needed. They weren't really paying attention to that. They could not stop it. They couldn't stop the run a lot. A lot of those errors and mistakes is what happened. And I think those are some keys right there for the Seattle Seahawks that cost them the game. Now, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen with Seattle coming up? They got Atlanta in Atlanta Sunday. 1 Eastern, noon Central kick. Sunday, they're playing the Falcons. Let's see what happens there. I think it's going to be a huge game for both teams. It's going to be a huge game for Seattle to try to get their groove back and to try to keep marching forward. Let's see what happens there. I'm curious to see how the offense responds and see how they are going to respond defensively as well, because that was a really drastic night for them defensively for what the Niners did to them all, from their offense perspective. So final score was 36-24. Let's see how Seattle responds Sunday against the Falcons. Super Bowl 58 rematch coming up at 4:25 Eastern, 3:25 Central for the Niners. And it's going to be a quite the doozy, because we are covering that one. So, moving on, let's go to the Sunday games, 3 Sunday games. Let's talk about the Bucs and the Saints. Got that game right. I was surprised on how the game was. Final score was 51-27, the Buccaneers. 51-27. The Buccaneers blew out the Saints, dominating win for the Bucs to kind of grab a hold even more of to be at the top of that division with the Falcons. It's the Falcons and Buccaneers led division right now. 4-2 for the Bucs, 2-4 for the Saints. Saints are going through it. They're playing with Spencer Rattler at quarterback. Derek Carr is going to be out for the next 3 to 4 weeks with that oblique injury. That is there, but they were not moving the ball well that much on offense compared to the Bucs, which they usually are. Let's talk about the Bucs though really quick before we talk about the Saints. I was getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about the total yards for the Bucs. They had 594 total yards. They put up 594 total yards of offense and total yards compared to their 303. They passed the ball well. They outgained them tremendously in rushing. 277 compared to their 81. Yards per play, 8.3. 8.3 yards per play compared to their 4.6. Very efficient on third down. The Saints were not. The bad thing was, the good thing was time of possession. They kept the Saints off the field, which they needed to. They did. The two things that are blemishes for the Buccaneers were the penalties and the turnovers. The penalties, 12 penalties for 86 yards and 3 interceptions thrown by Baker. That's the only really kind of thing that bugs me about the Bucs. But other than that, they played really, really good. They can afford that in a game like this with the Saints being down 3 top targets, and that's Derek Carr, Chris Olave, and Rashid Shaheed in this game. So they were out. Alvin Kamara had to do a lot, and it didn't live up to the hype. 81 yards on the ground. They couldn't run the ball. Fantastic defensive play by the Bucs. They played really, really well defensively. They were physical up front. What I liked, though, was the run. They really, really ran the ball well. Sean Tucker, 136 yards and a touchdown. Bucky Irving had 81 yards and a touchdown. We really didn't see Rachaad White all that much, obviously. But that's okay. Sean Tucker came in, filled the void with 136 yards, a touchdown. Bucky Irving had 81 yards and a touchdown. With running the ball effectively like that, it's going to be kind of hard, to win this game if you're the Saints. 325 yards, 4 touchdowns for Baker, 24 for 36. Mayfield also had 29 yards on the ground. Chris Godwin was a madman. And he, 125 yards, 2 touchdowns through the air. Let's talk about Sean Tucker again. 56 yards receiving and a touchdown receiving. So he had 2 total touchdowns as well. Evans had 34 yards. Cade Otton had a touchdown. And that was pretty much Baker Mayfield's whole day there. But they were had a really, really mix of balance on their offense. Running the ball well and a lot of good throwing ability and a lot of good throwing plays that the Bucs really possessed in this game. They really, really kept the Saints defense in check this whole game. With a perfect, balanced, schemed, and well-planned offense. They had the ball for a good bit. They ran some clock off, and it was really, really good for the Saints. The Saints were kind of backed into a corner corner and kept it on its heels on defense, and they couldn't do anything. Up front, they were physical and played really, really physical to their defensive line. They stopped the run defensively well. They really did a really, really good stopping the run. And I mean, if you want to look at the Bucs currently at stopping the run, they are 11th in rushing defense. So they're just right outside the top 10 in rushing defense. So it's not the best. It's not like, the greatest, but it's good. It's good enough. Sunday's going to be Monday night's going to be a little bit different. And it's a different running team that you're going to be facing. So we're going to talk about that later. But for, the Bucs, that was good enough to stop the Saints, right? So the Saints didn't run the ball effectively, and that defense played really, really well at stopping the run. I think those things right there were a recipe for success. They wouldn't stop scoring. They made a statement and put a statement win on in a game where they needed to. It's an NFC South game. It was a division game. They needed to bounce back from the Falcons' loss, and they did in a big way. 51-27 was the score. Bucs blew out the Saints. Let's talk about the Saints really quick before we talk about these other two games. And the Saints couldn't run the ball well. I was really going to say the same thing. Could not run the ball well. Kamara had 40 yards and a touchdown. Rattler had 27 on the ground. Williams had 7. That was really it. Kamara got a touchdown, which was good. Spencer Rattler, 22 for 40, 243 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions. Foster Moreau had 54 yards. Juwan Johnson had 48 yards. Bub Means had 45 yards and a touchdown. That was pretty much it. Rattler he's a rookie quarterback. He's still learning how to play in the NFL and play in a league like this and in a game like this magnitude. He's really learning how to play all over again almost. It's different from college ball. This is not Oklahoma. This is not South Carolina. This is the NFL. So he's learning how to play all over again. It's going to take some time, but he can get there. He showed flashes of good, decision making accuracy, but also showed flashes of just being a rookie, and that's okay. I knew the Saints were going to lose this game. I kind of had a really good feeling that they were going to lose this game. Saints are beat up, and they are taking some hits. They're on a downhill skid right now. Let's see if the Saints bounce back. But there's really nothing else to say other than they're beat up. They need to run the ball better. They need to get Kamara back involved. And Kamara needs to find a way to break out some more and get the ground game going. In Rattler, it's just going to take some time to develop him. He's a rookie quarterback still. It's going to take some time to get him in the motions of being a quarterback that's going to help you, come a long way, right? So that's pretty much all you got. They got out physicaled. They were hurt, and they just need to run the ball better. That's pretty much all you can say about the New Orleans Saints at this point. 51-27 was the score. Bucs, Monday Night Football, 8:15 Eastern, 7:15 Central, kick on ESPN against the Ravens. That's what I meant by running offense. For the Bucs, the Saints, they have a game tonight. Let's see how they do at home. 8:15 Eastern, 7:15 Central, kick tonight on Amazon Prime. Broncos and the Saints. Let's see how they do, and both those teams do tonight on Prime. Let's go to our Commanders and Ravens game that we did. Then we're going to go to the Lions and Cowboys, and that would be our Week 6 NFL recap. Let's talk about the Commanders and Ravens, because this was probably the closest game, really, of the day. Of the Pigskin Frenzy games that we've done. I said that this game is going to be close. I felt like the Ravens and the Commanders were going to run the ball, and surprisingly, they ran the ball. The Ravens ran the ball. The Commanders ran the ball, but not a whole lot. But Jaden Daniels made up for it by playing ball. He threw the ball well, made some good decisions. As a rookie, Offensive Player Rookie of the Year, Jaden Daniels is my leading vote right now of Offensive Rookie of the Year. Jaden Daniels is playing at an elite level, kind of like C.J. Stroud did last year. Something about that number 2 overall pick, man. I mean, something about that number 2 overall pick. Jaden Daniels doing what C.J. Stroud did last year. He's doing it really well this year. Rookie of the Year vote for offense goes to Jaden Daniels early on. But I said this game was going to be close. They were going to be a back-and-forth game, but the Ravens were going to come out on top, and the Ravens did come out on top. Ravens 30, Commanders 23 was the final. Ravens played really, really well. I said the key in this one was who was going to stop the run, because the Ravens were going to run the ball. I thought the Commanders were going to run the ball, but who was going to stop it more? And it was going to be the Ravens. I said that because last week they were in the top 20s. The Commanders were in the league in rushing defense. It's not the best when you're playing the number 1 rushing offense in the league. And I knew that was going to come into effect. The big key was, for me, can the Commanders stop their running game? And they couldn't. And I felt like the Ravens could, and the Commanders couldn't. So I think that's a big reason why the Ravens won this ball game. 176 yards on the ground for the Ravens compared to their 52. Ravens rushing defense played really, really well. They neutralized the run well. Brian Robinson did not play. And it was kind of a big bummer, but Eckler did play, 21 yards on the ground. Jaden Daniels had 22 yards on the ground. Daniels was 24 for 35, 269 yards, 2 touchdowns. This was the Commanders. But this is the Commanders. And I'm going to get to the Commanders in a minute, but they played well, but they neutralized. If you hear those stats, the Ravens neutralized all of that. They neutralized the ground. They neutralized and contained Jaden a little bit. And they had the defense to do it, and they did. So I think that's why the Ravens won this ball game, especially with the offense that they got. They got the number 1 offense currently in the NFL, the Ravens do. 323 yards, a touchdown, 20 for 26. He had 40 yards on the ground. How about Derrick Henry playing at that MVP caliber level once again, playing at that rushing champion level that he used to do from 2019 to 2021 when he was with Tennessee? 132 yards, 2 touchdowns, 24 carries. Henry is an absolute monster. First season balling out with the Ravens, and he is so far. That offensive line is finally coming into its own. It's doing really, really well. Run blocking, pass blocking, doing really, really good for this team. The line's starting to come into its own, and the Ravens are going to be a problem once again when that happens. 132 yards, 9 receptions for Zay Flowers. Flowers is a top target. They got a 3-headed dragon with Henry, Jackson, and Flowers right now. Mark Andrews finally getting involved. 66 yards and a touchdown. Rashad Bateman has 71 yards. Likely had 27 yards. And this team on offense is just deadly. It just proves that the amount of weapons they got against a lot of teams are just deadly. Lamar Jackson has only lost one game has only lost one game as a starter to an NFC team. He has almost a near perfect record against the NFC, and it's like 23-1. I think he's 23-1. It could be 24-1 this Monday night if they can defeat the Bucs. But they are moving the ball well, running the ball well. They are a hard team to stop. You can do read options with this team. Lamar Jackson will take off. He will get the first. You can do it with Henry, and Henry will get the first. It's like pick your poison, and it's really, really hard to stop them defensively. John Harbaugh, Todd Monken on offense, the offensive coordinator for the Ravens, have something going there, and they're not going to let up. They are going to beat you on the ground and through the air. Lamar can throw a ball, too, if you don't know. He put up 323 against the Commanders' defense. If you don't know, this team will move the ball on you, and you're going to have to figure out some ways to kind of neutralize them and slow them down. And so far, no one has really slowed them down. Even in their 2 losses that they've had, no one's really didn't get slowed down a lot. They played the Chiefs close. The Raiders, they played the Raiders close. The Raiders just got lucky because the Ravens had a few miscues on their own. The Ravens are looking like they can be at the top of the AFC once again. Let's just see how it works out. That rushing defense is solid. That defense is solid, led by Roquan Smith. They stop the run. They slow down Austin Eckler. They contain Jaden Daniels as Jaden Daniels likes to use his legs as well. They contained him as well. They slowed him down, and that defense is very physical also. Kyle Hamilton in the secondary, one of the best in the AFC. second to none, one of the best in the league. The Ravens are a solid football team on both sides of the ball, and they're showing it right now. They're finally starting to go on a streak and win games. What does this mean for the NFL? Unfortunately for them, they're going to have to stop a white-hot offense with a solid enough defense that could probably lend them a championship. Maybe. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens with the Ravens, but the Ravens are in the AFC are building and building and building. That was a good game, 30-20, 30-23. Ravens defeated the Commanders. Let's talk about the Commanders really quick before we move on to the game with Lions and Cowboys. Head scratcher there. Commanders, Jaden Daniels played well, and he is the future of the NFL. He is showing that he is a solid quarterback in this league, and he is going to be the future of this league. They're leading in the NFC East. They're the best team in the NFC East right now. Second would probably be the Eagles. Third would be Dallas. Fourth would be the New York Giants as in the current rankings right now. They are winning in this division right now. Winning. They are the best team in the East right now. They are, if they keep winning, they could be a playoff team. They could. They have the Panthers coming up Sunday. And this is a game where they could easily win. I mean, it's at 4:05 Eastern, 3:05 Central kick Sunday against the Panthers in Washington. They could go 5-2. This team is a solid team, and the sky's the limit for them. Do they still need help in some areas? Yeah, they do. They lost a key piece of their defensive front with Jonathan Allen. We're going to talk about that on the injury report. But Cliff Kingsbury knows what he's doing with Jaden Daniels on offense. His offense is flying down the field. They're moving the ball down the field. Daniels is making accurate decisions. He can throw the ball as well. He is playing at an elite level as a rookie, and he's a hard quarterback to stop. He really, really is. He's confident already. He's playing with boldness and confidence under center as the quarterback for this team. With a confident rookie quarterback like that, the sky's the limit for this franchise and for this team. The Commanders on offense look good with McLaurin, with Eckler, with Robinson, and hopefully Robinson gets better. The ground game is good. They just need some more weapons up front and some more receivers to help out Jaden Daniels. Other than that, they got Luke McCaffrey, they got McLaurin, but more guys on this team would do the trick for Jaden Daniels. Get a little bit more weapons, and the Commanders are going to be a scary team for years to come. They played really, really well against this team, and they held their own on the road in a tough environment against Baltimore. So nothing but praise for me against the Commanders in this game. They played them close and hard. They just couldn't stop their running attack, and that's the only really thing that they had that was bad for them. They protected the football well. Jaden Daniels got sacked 3 times, but it wasn't awfully bad. They protected the football and played clean football. They had 6 penalties, which is not the best, but it's better than most. The Ravens are, they kind of harsh. They're not really good with penalties. I'm surprised the Ravens had 3 penalties so far, but they played really, really disciplined football, and they protected the football well. They just couldn't stop the running game, and I think that was a big disadvantage for the Commanders in this ball game. But 30-23 was the final score. Ravens defeated the Commanders. The Commanders at 4:05 Eastern, 3:05 Central, have the Panthers on Sunday. Ravens on Monday night have the Bucks. It's a doubleheader for Monday Night Football. I'm not doing the doubleheader. I'm just doing the Ravens and Buccaneers game. But Commanders, man, solid football team. They have a shot at winning and going 5-2 Sunday. Let's move on. Talk about one last game for the Week 6 recap. Oh, Lord. Lions and Cowboys. And I had to do a pause there because it was, here we go. Knock on wood. Lions and Cowboys. I said the Lions were going to win this game. I said I didn't like how the Cowboys looked against the Steelers. I said this game wasn't going to be close. I thought it was going to be 31-14, if I remember correctly. I was wrong because it was much worse than that. Lions 47, Cowboys 9 was the final. Lions 47, Cowboys 9. At home. It was a home game for Dallas, and they lost 47-9. It was hard to watch. let's talk about the Lions really quick. Remember that talk when I said earlier about the Niners? They're one of the best teams in the NFC. Let's meet the best team in the NFC right now. It's the Detroit Lions. They are second in their division. They're 4-1. Vikings are 5-0. To me, they're better than the Vikings. And you probably already know where I'm headed with the Vikings and Lions pick, because that's one of our Pigskin Frenzy games. You probably already know what direction I'm trending in by just what I'm saying right now. Right now, the Lions are the best team in the whole conference, in the NFC. Hands down. Right now, they're the best team. They're the most physical. They are the most balanced on offense. Their play actions are second to none. Jared Goff is on fire. Defensively, they are really, they're the most penalized team in the league, which is not good. That's their only flaw, and I think that could cost them a game or two again, is they're penalized, but they're physical on defense, and they know what they're doing, up front. And I think the Lions are a solid football team. They played like it this weekend, too, against the Cowboys. Let's talk about Jared Goff. And let's talk about this team. They 184 yards compared to the Cowboys 53. They had 7.5 yards per play on them. 308 passing yards compared to their 198. Total yards 492 compared to their 251. They weren't as efficient on third down as I'd like for them to be, and penalties were an issue. Penalties were a huge issue for the Lions. 8 penalties, 63 yards. They got to clean that up. They won at time of possession, but also a key note here is they got the ball 5 times through turnovers. They forced 5 turnovers, 2 fumbles, 3 picks. 5 turnovers in this game for the Cowboys, and the Lions got the ball. They turned the ball. Took advantage of those turnovers 5 times. Well, the Lions are a solid football team. They're the best in the conference. They got to clean up those penalties. They have to be a little bit more efficient on third down. Other than those 2 things, they're the best team off of play action. They know how to sling the rock. Jared Goff is playing like a madman. What he did was incredible. 18 for 25, 315 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Montgomery and Gibbs are solid. Montgomery had 80 yards and 2 touchdowns. Gibbs had 63 yards on the ground. Jamison Williams is finally coming into his own for this team. 76 yards and a touchdown. Khalif Raymond had 73 yards. Laporta had 52 yards and a touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 37 yards and a touchdown. Tim Patrick, wide receiver, had 68 yards as well. Gibbs, 3 receptions, 28 yards too. So through the air, this team's balanced. Through the run, they're balanced. They had a 2-punch combo with Montgomery and Gibbs. They got some talent, dude, and they got some talent up front too. Penei Sewell was a key guy in this game against the Cowboys. He was dominating the Cowboys up front. They were running a trick play with Sewell, but it was an ineligible man downfield. Last time the Lions played the Cowboys, it was in December in Dallas, and the Cowboys won. It was a closer game than we thought, and we thought the Lions were going to win. They should have won. I remember saying that last year, and the Cowboys ended up winning. This year, no mistake, no controversy. It was just flat out Lions, both sides of the ball. Defensively, they looked really good. We're going to talk about the Aiden Hutchinson thing on the injury report. Sad thing there, heartbreaking thing to watch there. We're going to talk about this defense looked really, really good. Brian Branch had 2 picks. Kirby Joseph had an interception as well. They looked really, really good on defense, very physical up front, getting to Dak Prescott, forcing turnovers, and just looking like a well-oiled machine out there. That's really all you got to say about this Detroit Lions team. They're the best in the comp. They're the best in the NFC, potentially best in the league. To me, they look. I think you could argue that them and the Ravens are looking like the 2 best teams in the league. I think. That's just me. I think this team, you can line up the Lions right now with pretty much anybody in the NFL right now. If you want to be real, I think you can line them up with anybody in the NFL right now. Final score was 47-9. And that was pretty much it with the Lions. I mean, there's really nothing else to say. Just nothing but praise for the Lions. They played really, really well. Clean up the penalties. Be more disciplined in that area. and be more efficient on third down. Other than that, that's a will-to-will machine. It's probably the best team in the conference. Let's have that heart-to-heart, because I've said about the heart-to-heart before we close out our recap, move on to the injury report and other news around the league, and then talk about the preview and predictions for this game, for Week 7. Let's talk about this heart-to-heart for Dallas, because I'm about to go off. I'm about to go off. We're going all in, right? That's what they said. And that's not me trying to be that way, but I am that way. The Cowboys, and this is a really good thing. This is to quote ESPN's Dan Orlovsky. He said this on First Take the other day. I listened to it, and all credit goes to him. I agree with him on this take. Detroit is right now what Dallas is pretending to be. Detroit is what Dallas is pretending to be, and that's the best in the league. Dallas is like, oh, we're going to run the ball. You can't run the football. We're going to, protect the football. You haven't been protecting the football. We're going to be physical. You're not physical. You're not physical on both sides of the ball. You're not running the ball. You're turning the ball over. Let's see. You're not efficient on third down. There's really nothing to say. You average 3.9 yards per play. You have a bye week coming up this week. You're not making any moves to correct anything. You're not doing anything. And the thing is, in a post-game interview on Jerry Jones' birthday, happy birthday, by the way, late birthday to Jerry Jones, he said that he was shocked that this happened. How? Why are you shocked? The problem is, and this is my heart to heart with you guys. I'm coming. This is a come to Jesus kind of thing right now. Heart to heart is that this is what Dallas is. The Lions presented you guys with a hard dose of reality, and it smacked you right in the face Sunday afternoon. They presented you with a cold dose of reality of this is what it's going to continue to be for Dallas unless they do not change. They're not changing. And it has nothing. I mean, you can say Mike McCarthy's an issue, but it's not Mike McCarthy. You guys all know what the issue is. Don't kid yourself. You know what the issue is. CeeDee Lamb's not playing to like how he's being played, how he's gotten paid. He deserves the money, but right now he's not earning his money. Dak, same thing. He's not earning his money as well. And it's not a call out. It's how it is. They're not earning what they're being paid. They're not playing how they were supposed to be paid. They're being paid, and they're not playing like they're worth. They're not playing like the contracts they were paid to be paid by or whatever. But they're being paid at a rate. Let me just put it this way. They're being paid to be this way, and they're not supposed to be this way. They're supposed to be outstanding on the field, and they're playing below of what they're being paid. Right? They're right so far this season. They are not worth the money that is being given to them. Hands down. They need to do something about that, and they need to play better on that. That's probably a whole different subject there. That's one. Number two is they can't run the ball. Ezekiel Elliott, he's not running the ball well. Dowdell ran the ball and showed a glimmer of hope of running the ball with the Cowboys last week against the Steelers, but other than that, didn't do a whole lot this past weekend. They're not really playing him a whole lot. I mean, they're playing him a whole lot, but not like Elliott. There's no clear number besides Lamb. There's no other help for Prescott besides Ferguson. There's no help for him. The line is not being physical against other defensive lines. He's getting sacked out there. He's getting turnovers. They're forcing turnovers. Some of it's Dak's fault. Some of it's not Dak's fault. Some of it is that he didn't have time to throw, so he makes poor decisions because he doesn't have time to throw because the offensive line can't block for him because they're not physical. It's all coming into effect right now. They could have gotten a running back this offseason. They didn't. They could have gone all in on their offensive line. They did not. They could have tried to go for better help and for extra security on depth of the defensive line in case of injuries with Micah Parsons, who is hurt, and yes, they are beat up, and DeMarcus Lawrence. Praying that these guys get back on the field safe because they need those guys back on the D-line. They needed some more depth on the D-line. They did not go for more depth on the D-line. They said they were going all in. They have not gone all in. Where is the all in? I'm trying to figure that out. Where's the all in? Because I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. And it's going to get worse if they don't change. But the thing is, they're not going to change. I don't see it. And it's not really on the coaching staff, as they don't have control over everything. You all are you're thinking, okay, it's Mike McCarthy. No, it's not. The one who has to look in the mirror about this is Jerry Jones. He has to look in the mirror and say, this team is not good. He was shocked about how bad this team got beat. No one else was shocked. I knew this was coming. I knew that the Cowboys were going to be it wasn't going to be close Sunday. I knew it wasn't. I saw how Dallas played against Pittsburgh. I knew it wasn't going to be close. I knew the Lions were going to run over them, and they did. I didn't know it was going to be this bad, though. But I did know it wasn't going to be close. But I didn't know this was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to be this score, at least. But I knew it was coming. I knew that they were going to get blown out. This is one of the worst home blowouts for them. They have not won a game at home this year. They're 0-3 at home. Stat, look it up. They have not won a game at home. They've lost to the Lions at home. They've lost to the They've lost to the Ravens at home. They've lost to the Saints at home. They are 0-3 at home. They have the other 3 games are all on the road. Giants, Browns, and I think they play the Steelers. Giants, Browns, Steelers. This team, because I've covered a lot of those games. This team is not anywhere near championship or playoff level. Something has to change with Dallas. Something has to. And it's not me talking any sort of way. I don't feel harbor any ill will towards Jones, towards anybody on this thing. Jones is not even expected to make moves before the trade deadline. Trade deadline is November 5th. Election day is trade deadline. He's not making any moves prior to that. And they need to make moves. They need to get better, and they're not, because he thinks everything's fine, but it's not okay. It's not. And if you're a Dallas fan, you're sitting there scratching your head saying, I wonder what's happening. Some fans are being real and saying, this is the problem, and they are right. Right now, Jerry Jones has a grip on this team, and he thinks everything's okay when it's not. He needs to know it's not okay. You're not going all in, and you think you're going all in, but you're not. It's not an all-in issue. You're not going all in. You should have gone all in, but you're not. You didn't put the initiative to do it this offseason, and now it's too late, or it's getting to be too late for this team. Dallas has a bye this week. They have a tough schedule coming up, very tough. Dallas next week, or this week's on bye. Coming up after their bye, they have to go to San Francisco and play the Niners, the number 2 offense in the league. It could be rough. Who knows? But let's see what Dallas does. But right now, it's hard to sit and believe in Dallas when the same things keep on happening. They're not a championship level team. They're not even they're not a playoff team, much less a championship team. That's my issue. That's my thing with Dallas. That's my heart to heart. You have to figure. Everybody needs to look in the mirror and realize what the problem is. The problem, and I hate to say it, is right now is the control that Jerry Jones needs to let go of this team. He has a lot of control on this team and how they operate on the field. It's like he's the coach, but also in the press box as the owner, handling the business side of everything. It really is. He has a tough grip hold on this team that he needs to delegate some of the responsibilities to the coaching staff. Let them do their jobs. You have control over everything, and it's hard for them to do their jobs. You have to let go of some of the responsibilities. That's the problem. That's the problem with this team right now. They are a talented team. They have talent, but they're not going to get anywhere because of the control that is on this team that is literally tightened like a chokehold right now. They have to get rid of some of that control and bring it back a little bit to the coaching staff and see what the problem is there. Other than that, it's going to keep happening. These losses are going to keep piling up, and you're not at the level of a championship or a playoff team. Jerry Jones thinks so, and he says he's shocked about what happened. I'm not shocked, and I don't think anybody else really is either. 47-9 was the final. Heart to heart with the Cowboys. I had to have that discussion there. I have no ill will towards the Cowboys at all. You already know. I picked the Cowboys to win games. I picked them last week against the Steelers because I thought they were going to win. I have no ill will towards this team. I'm just being realistic. They have to look themselves in the mirror and know what the problem is. Fix it. Fix the problem. And that's really it. You have to fix the problem. You're not a championship level team right now. You're not even a playoff team right now. You got to fix the problem. Final score is 47-9. Lions beat the Cowboys. That was our Week 6 recap, and that was my heart-to-heart with the Dallas Cowboys. Again, nothing against Dallas. Nothing. Other than the fact that I'm telling the truth on this. They have to get better, and they have to fix their problem. And you guys already know what the problem is. Okay. Let's go to the Pigskin Frenzy NFL injury report, the trade news, because two big trades happen, and then we'll do the preview and predictions for Week 7 of this game. Kicking it off with the Lions and Cowboys game again for the Pigskin Frenzy NFL injury report. Man, it was tough to watch. Tough to watch. And I saw it during when they were trying to make a sack on Dak. He got the sack, but it was too tough to see because, man, it was Aiden Hutchinson. And Aiden Hutchinson went down. Thoughts and prayers are with him. Lions defensive end Aiden Hutchinson had successful surgery to repair a broken tibia and fibula. He will be out for the rest of the season after suffering that injury against the Dallas Cowboys this past Sunday. If you watch the injury, it was tough to watch. He was carted off, and it was tough sledding for them. The Lions lost pretty much their heart and soul and their captain of that defense and that captain of their team. Thoughts and prayers are with Aiden Hutchinson. Hopefully, he heals up quickly and is back on the field next season, fully healthy and ready to go for this defense. They need some more depth on the defensive end position now that Davenport's out for the year and Aiden Hutchinson's out for the year. Two key losses, but they still have a physical defense. So let's see what the Lions do. But Aiden Hutchinson right now out for the year. Tough break there. We are praying for him, and hopefully he heals quite quickly. So Aiden Hutchinson injury there. Tough to watch there. Sunday, Rams wide receiver Cooper Kupp had a good workout and could return Sunday versus the Raiders. He had a good positive workout, and he could be on track to playing this Sunday, Week 7, versus the Raiders. And that ankle injury that he was going through. So big return for the Rams there. A Puka Nacua turn is the next thing they need to be targeting. Cooper Kupp coming back is a big thing for this Rams offense, and a big upgrade for this offense is what they need right here. Commanders defensive tackle Jonathan Allen is out for the season after suffering a torn pec versus the Ravens this past Sunday. So thoughts and prayers with Jonathan Allen. Tough break there. Big part of your defensive line for the Commanders is out now. He brings a lot of physical presence to that line. Tough break there for Jonathan Allen. Torn pectoral muscle. He is out for the rest of the season, and he will be back next year. Thoughts and prayers are with him, and hopefully he heals quite quickly and makes a speedy recovery and heals nicely there. 49ers wide receiver Ricky Pearsall is cleared to practice following that gunshot room and the armed robbery earlier in the year, week before the NFL season started. So, I mean, we were still praying for him. Thankfully, he is good and he's ready to go. Welcome back, Ricky Pearsall. Thankfully, he is good to go and cleared. Hopefully, he should be seeing the field in games sometime soon. So, big addition to that white-hot 49ers offense coming up here soon. Panthers running back Jonathan Brooks tore his ACL last year with Texas. He could return Sunday versus the Commanders, and he could return. I mean, he could return anytime. He could be activated to return before election day, November 5th, but he could even return as soon as Sunday versus the Commanders. So let's see if it happens. Don't know yet if it will happen, but could return. But very good news. He's able to practice, and everything's good to go for Jonathan Brooks. Things are healing quite nicely for him. Browns running back Nick Chubb is expected to return Sunday versus the Bengals. After a year of being out, he is back. big thing for the Browns. They really needed a huge boost in their offense, especially in the running game, and Nick Chubb coming back is going to be a big thing for them coming up Sunday. So returning Sunday versus the Bengals is Nick Chubb. He is healed quite nicely. He says his knee's feeling good. Everything's feeling good. He's healthy, ready to go. Good on Nick Chubb for coming back, and we're ready for him to see the field coming up Sunday against the Bengals in AFC North Division play. Browns running back Jerome Ford has a hamstring injury and is considered week to week. He might miss this week. Most likely, we don't know, but he is considered week to week with that injury. Thoughts and prayers are with him. Hopefully, he heals nicely. Jaguars running back Travis Etienne has a hamstring injury also, and he is also considered week to week. So hopefully, everything is good for him there, and he heals quite nicely. Thoughts and prayers are with Travis Etienne. Steelers center Zach Frazier, rookie center Zach Frazier, ankle is considered week to week. There's no structural damage, which is good news, but thoughts and prayers are with him. Hopefully, he heals quickly, and he is good to go coming up soon. Giants left tackle Andrew Thomas is out for the rest of the season after suffering a foot injury and is expected to have surgery on that foot. Thoughts and prayers are with him. Hopefully he gets back up, heals quickly, and is ready to go for next season. So thoughts and prayers are with him. Hopefully everything's okay with Andrew Thomas and everything goes good with him. Last but not least on the injury report, it's a pretty unique one, and it involves Chargers head coach. Well, there's three more, but let's talk about Chargers head coach Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh, he must wear a heart monitor for the next couple of weeks. He left the sidelines against the Broncos due to an irregular heartbeat, and now he must wear a heart monitor for the next couple of weeks, but is planning to not miss any games. So good news, he's going to be okay. Not planning to miss any games, but he's going to be monitored with that heart monitor. So thoughts and prayers with Jim Harbaugh. Hopefully he's okay and stays okay, and everything goes good with him. Three big injury reports for tonight before we go to the trade news and then preview and predictions. Chris Olave not playing tonight. He is out versus the Broncos due to a concussion. Thoughts and prayers are with him. Hopefully he heals quite nicely as well. Tough break for the Saints losing Chris Olave at the receiver position. Another receiver for position is gone too. He is out indefinitely. He's going to have surgery on his knee, and that's for Raheed Shaheed out indefinitely with a knee injury. He's going to have meniscus surgery and see if he's going to be out for the remainder of the year or for a sideline. So here we go. Thoughts and prayers are with him on that. Patrick Surtain is out, and Patrick Surtain is out with a concussion. Excuse me. Thoughts and prayers are out with concussion. He is out with a concussion. Hopefully, everything is good to go there. Sorry, I was getting reports on my phone. Patrick Surtain, top defensive back in this league. Broncos, they really needed him for the night. He is out with a concussion. He will not play against the Saints tonight. So thoughts and prayers are with him. Hopefully, he heals quickly. That was the Pigskin Frenzy NFL injury report. Thoughts and prayers are with everybody on this list. Hopefully everybody heals quickly and everybody is okay and good to go soon and off this list soon. Thoughts and prayers with everybody on this list and everybody heals quite quickly. That was the Pigskin Frenzy NFL injury report. Let's talk about the three big news around the league. Steelers are planning on starting Russell Wilson Sunday. I kind of had a feeling this was coming. They've given him first-team reps, and he's getting ready to play versus the Jets Sunday night and start on Sunday Night Football against the Jets. We'll see how he does there. The play calling hasn't been the best, so let's see if they have different play calling for Russell Wilson, and they can stretch the ball downfield as well. So, let's see how it goes there with Russell Wilson. Let's talk about that was the latest news on him. Let's talk about the two trades. Latest update on Davante Adams. And we were just wondering for the past couple of weeks, when is it going to happen? When is the trade going to happen? The trade finally happened. The Raiders have traded wide receiver Davante Adams to the New York Jets for a third-round pick and additional compensation that can turn into a second-round draft pick. That is what the Raiders will get. That is, and the Jets will receive Davante Adams. So welcome to the New York Jets. Davante Adams reuniting with Aaron Rodgers. How do I feel about this? Well, I kind of had a feeling it was coming. I said that the two leading horses in the race for Davante Adams with the New Orleans Saints and the Jets. It was either going to be reuniting with Derek Carr or reuniting with Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers was the one he was reuniting with. He is back with his old Packers teammate in New York, and he's expected to make his debut Sunday. So Davante Adams, he was missing a few games with that hamstring and trade requests. Everything's all cleared up, and he's expected to play Sunday night versus the Steelers and debut with that offense, wearing number 17 with the team as well. So everything's settled in. He's been practicing. He is going to make his Jets debut Sunday night against the Steelers Sunday night. Hopefully it helps the Jets after a tough loss with the Bills. My thoughts on that is that it helps a little bit, brings some mentorship to Garrett Wilson even, because Garrett Wilson's one of the most underrated receivers in this league, a solid playmaker. They have a loaded receiver room in New York. If they can get the offensive line in check and be physical, they can try to come back and win some more games and make it to the playoffs late. But right now, they have to run the ball better. They got to get their O-line in check, and they have to play a lot better and play better on defense as well. Other than that, I don't know what's going to happen, but on paper, this offense looks loaded with Davante Adams now there. Solid trade. Congratulations to Davante Adams on getting, and then everybody on getting a deal done. Everybody gets what they wanted out of this trade. So Adams is now with the Jets. Another trade news. Let's talk about the Bills. This one kind of stunned me. The Bills have traded. The Bills have traded for Cleveland Browns wide receiver Amari Cooper. The Browns have traded wide receiver Amari Cooper to the Bills, giving Josh Allen some help. The Browns get a sixth round NFL draft pick, and the Bills get a 7th round draft pick. So with Amari Cooper. So good couple of picks for the Browns, good couple of picks, and Amari Cooper for the Bills. The Bills, man, let me go and tell you something about the Bills. They needed that. They got Keon Coleman. They got Khalil Shakir, but adding another piece to that puzzle as well, and Dalton Kincaid, but adding a top receiver like Amari Cooper. This could also help revive Amari Cooper a little bit, but it can also help out Josh Allen in the passing game a lot. He's got another target for him, a more in-depth target for him on the outside. Amari Cooper is a big-time playmaker. He can make some big-time plays with Josh Allen for this football team and this offense up in Buffalo. So good on the Bills. In the AFC, the Jets said, "Hey, they beat us last night, but we're going to win by doing a trade." And then the Bills were like, "You know what? We're going to do some big-time trades too to keep up with what the Jets just did," and they did it with Amari Cooper. So big-time thing there. That's my thoughts on it. I think it's a really good trade. It's going to help out balance and add some more stability and more weapons to Josh Allen in the offense. So really, really good pickup there. I think this could help revive Amari Cooper's career in a lot of ways. So congratulations for the Bills and Amari Cooper on getting this done, and the Browns on getting some good picks out of it. But Amari Cooper is now a Buffalo Bill. Let's see if he plays coming up this weekend. But congratulations to the Buffalo Bills and Amari Cooper for getting this trade done. Knock on wood again. That was the latest news across the league. 2 big trades happening there. Let's talk about the Week 7 preview and predictions. Let's preview the top matchups. 4 games here on Pigskin Frenzy before we conclude today's episode of Pigskin Frenzy. An hour into the episode, let's get right to it. Kicking it off with the Lions and the Vikings. Divisional play. Here we go. Week 7 preview and predictions. Lions at Vikings. The Lions are 4-1, coming off of a big win against Dallas. The Vikings are coming off of a bye week after a big win against the Jets. Rest week, they're 5-0. Something's got to give here. Let's see if the Vikings can continue their momentum after that bye week, and if the Lions can keep up that momentum after some good side wins. Against Seattle and against the Cowboys, and just keep it on winning, right? Just keep on winning. So let's talk about this. Lions keys are pretty simple. So the Lions keys are this: Number one, win the line of scrimmage battle. That defense is salty for the Vikings. Just win the line of scrimmage battle, be physical up front, and not only on that, be physical on their defensive line. The Lions' defensive line, be physical on that O-line, and get to Sam Darnold. Win the line of scrimmage battle on both sides of the ball, and you should be fine in this game. Number two, run the ball effectively. Detroit currently is 4th in rushing offense with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. They're 4th rushing offense in the league. Minnesota is currently 2nd in rushing defense in the league. So something's got to give here. Run the ball effectively. And if you can run the ball effectively on a stout run defense like the Vikings, it could be a huge win for you to this coming up Sunday against the Vikings in Minnesota. Number 3, forced turnovers. Sam Darnold has been kind of dipped a little bit in his performance, but they're 5-0. They're still 5-0 based off a good defensive play, but if they can force some turnovers from Sam Darnold like they did with Dak Prescott, they can get a huge win here coming up Sunday. So force some turnovers and force Sam Darnold to turn the ball over this coming up Sunday. The Vikings' keys are pretty simple. Number one, establish the running game. Minnesota is currently 20th in rushing offense in the league. They just added Cam Akers via trade from Houston, and Aaron Jones is questionable due to that hip injury, so let's see if Aaron Jones plays. If they can get Aaron Jones back, it's a plus. But they just added Cam Akers, so if Cam Akers is eligible to make his debut this weekend, huge boost in the run game. And if they can run the ball effectively on this defense, on this Lions defense, it could be a really tough day for the Lions, but also a good day for the Minnesota Vikings. So establish that running game. Number 2, protect the football. Do not turn the ball over on this defense. Protect the football well and be efficient and play clean football in this game. Number 3, win the line of scrimmage battle. With that defense, be physical, then they'll be out physical the Lions, win the line of scrimmage battle on both sides of the ball. If you can do that, you should be good. I think you can surprise a lot of people and can probably potentially come up with a win here at home. So win the line of scrimmage battle if you're the Vikings. Who do I have winning this ball game? I think it's going to be close between the two. I think this is going to be closer than last week's, obviously. I think the Vikings get their first loss here. I just think the Lions are just better and more equipped currently right now. If anybody is going to, run the ball on this stout run defense, it could be the Lions. I think the Lions can do it. I think the Lions get the win here. I think it's going to be a 24-21 game. Lions 24, Vikings 21. The Lions go to 5-1, and the Vikings go to 5-1 and drop to 5-1. The Lions jump the Vikings in the NFC North race. Lions 24, Vikings 21. Vikings get their first loss on the year. The Lions defeat the Vikings and pick up the win here. So Lions get the win over the Vikings. So next up, an underrated matchup coming up Sunday afternoon. Texans at Packers. I was conflicted about this one. Texans are 5-1, coming off of a big win against the Patriots. The Packers 4-2, and they are riding a high wave of momentum as well. 5-1, Packers are 4-2, and they are debuting those all-white unis Sunday in Lambeau. So something's got to give here for the Packers and the Texans. Both of them have looked sharp in this season. So Texans' keys are pretty simple. Number 1, start off fast. If you can start off fast with C.J. Stroud, throwing the ball in the air, running the ball well, being effective on offense and starting off fast and getting points early, getting that defense, off its heels a little bit, you should be fine in this ball game. Number 2, beat them through the air. Pass the ball effectively and beat them through the air. Houston currently is 6th in passing offense in the league. Defensively, currently for the Green Bay Packers, they're currently 25th in passing defense in the league. So it kind of favors the Houston Texans. If they can effectively pass the ball and do it effectively and tire this passing defense out, it's going to be a huge win for the Houston Texans in Lambeau coming up Sunday afternoon. Number 3, establish the running game with Joe Mixon. If you can establish the running game against a tough Packers run defense, Joe Mixon running the ball well could spell doom for the Packers, and the Texans have a good success right here of winning this ball game. That probability goes up for them. So those are the 3 keys for the Texans. Let's talk about the Packers' keys here. Number 1, slow down their passing attack. I mean, they're 6th in passing offense. If you can slow it down and make C.J. Stroud be a little bit inconsistent and rattle him a little bit, you have a shot at winning this ball game for sure. So slow down that passing attack. Number 2, make them beat you with a run. You're currently 8th in rushing defense in the league. If you can slow down that running game and slow them down through the run, and slow it down through the pass and try to make them beat you through the run, you have the confidence and the ability to slow them down on the ground. So if you can just slow them down overall, the Packers, hey, man, 2 thumbs up. You got it in this. Number 3. Establish the running game with Josh Jacobs. Pretty simple. Kind of like Joe Mixon for them, but for the Packers, with Josh Jacobs. Run the ball well and run it effectively with Josh Jacobs, or just run the ball effectively in general, and you should be fine in this ball game. Who do I have winning this ball game? I think it's going to be back and forth. I think this will be a close game. I think Jair Alexander provides a good test for these, and the secondary for the Packers provides a good matchup for these Texans wide receivers. I think Houston comes away and squeaks a win late. I think they get them late. I think the Packers are going to give it all they have. Jordan Love's going to play a good game. I just think Stroud and this offense is going to be a little bit better and on their heels for this game and a little bit more pepped than the Packers in this game. I got Houston winning this game. Texans win. I would think 28-21. Texans 28, Packers 21. Packers go to 4-3. Texans, they go to 6-1. Packers go to 4-3. Texans go to 6-1. Texans 28. Packers 21. Texans defeat the Packers and win the game in Lambeau. So give me the Texans to pull it out and get a win on Sunday. So 2 more games, and we will conclude this episode. Super Bowl 58 rematch, Sunday afternoon, 4:25 Eastern, 3:25 Central kick on Fox. Tom Brady and Kevin Burkhardt on the call. Chiefs are 5-0 at Niners, who are 3-3. Something's got to give here. 49ers coming off of a big win and just riding some momentum going throughout the season, riding some momentum, especially on offense. The Chiefs coming off of a rest week and after a bye. Let's see how they're going to do on the road against a white-hot offense against the San Francisco 49ers. Number 1 for the Chiefs. Chiefs' keys are simple. Number 1, find a way to contain their offense. Pretty simple. San Francisco is currently 2nd in the league in offense, currently 9th in defense in the league. Is the Kansas City Chiefs. You have a top 10 defense. Pressure Brock Purdy with Chris Jones. Force them to get 3 and outs, contain them, make them punt, and slow the game down for them. If you can do that, that's a good way to go to 6-0 and get a victory here in the Bay. Number 2, like I said, put pressure on Brock Purdy. If you put pressure on Brock Purdy, get some sacks, stop him, make him even get some turnovers. That would be a good day for the Chiefs here. Brock Purdy has been kind of limited in turnovers, so if you can get that going, solid game and solid day for the Chiefs coming up there. Number 3, establish the running game with Clyde Edwards-Helaire is on his way back to the team, so good news there. If he is eligible to play Sunday, if you got Jerick McKinnon, if you got Carson Steele, Kareem Hunt now back on the team, establish the running game. If you can run the ball well and effectively, going to be a long day for the Niners to keep up. If you run the ball effectively there. So those are the 3 big keys for the Chiefs. Just get those things in order and involve more, especially with the ground game. Number 1 for the Niners, keys for the 49ers here. Number 1, start off fast. Put that Chiefs defense on its heels. Start off fast, score points early, and get the ball down the field early. That's number 1. Start off fast. Number 2, force turnovers. Mahomes has 6 interceptions on the year so far, as far as I know. As the last thing I looked, he's had 5 to 6 interceptions on the year so far. It's a very unusual start for Patrick Mahomes. If you force some turnovers for that Chiefs offense, the Niners have a shot at taking this game away and winning this game and handing the Chiefs its first loss on the year. Number 3, neutralize the weapons of Patrick Mahomes. Pretty simple. Worthy, non-factor. He's got to find somebody else. If you got to get Kelsey, a non-factor. Make those guys a non-factor. Make Worthy, Kelsey non-factors. If you try to throw to Watson or Gray or Smith-Schuster, try to make them a non-factor as well. Someone's going to get a hold for Mahomes. Mahomes is going to find some weapons. He's got weapons. He's going to find somebody, but neutralize the majority of the weapons that he's got. And if you contain him a little bit, that's a big win for you in this ball game. Those are the 49ers keys. That was the Chiefs keys just a minute ago. Who do I have winning this ball game? Back and forth, close game between the two. I really like the Niners winning this one at home. You're going to think, really? You picked the Chiefs last time. I did, and I was right. I think this game, coming off of a bye, a rest week, which is, look, it should be a good spot for the Chiefs because they're coming off of a bye week. I just don't think it's a good spot because the Niners have been playing. They've been kind of going and going and going, and they should be tired. But the thing is, they're riding a high wave of momentum. They're at home in a Super Bowl 58 rematch, and that's going to make them even more motivated in this game. The Chiefs have nothing to prove against the Niners. They've already beaten them 5-0. On the road against the Niners, a white-hot offense. I just like the Niners in this game to squeak out a win and hand the Chiefs their first loss on the year. I think it's going to be close, though. I think it's going to be a 27-20 victory. 49ers 27, Chiefs 20. I like the 49ers taking this one at home to go to 4-3 and the Chiefs to go to 5-1. So, 49ers 27, Chiefs 20. 49ers get the win over the Chiefs. The 49ers win this game. So, last but not least, before we conclude today's episode of Pigskin Frenzy, Ravens at Buccaneers on Monday Night Football, 8:15 Eastern, 7:15 Central kick on ESPN. Ravens at Buccaneers on Monday Night Football. Those were 3 Sunday games, and now we got Monday Night Football. So something's got to give here. Ravens at Buccaneers on Monday Night Football. Buccaneers face a really good face the run good this past Sunday against the Saints. They have not faced a running team like this yet and an offense quite like this yet. Ravens' keys are pretty simple. Number one, start off fast. If you can start off fast, score early, get some points on the board early, get this Buccaneers defense, this physical Bucks defense off its heels a little bit, something will have to give there for the Bucks. So number one, start off fast. Number two, run the ball effectively. Pretty simple. Run the ball effectively. Baltimore is currently number one in rushing offense in the league. Tampa Bay currently 11th in rushing defense in the league. Run the ball effectively with Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, Justice Hill. Run the ball effectively, slow them down, slow that defense, tire out that defense, and you should be fine in this game. Number three, minimize the penalties. They are currently 5th. They're the 5th most penalized team in the league. You got to clean up the penalties. If you can play better disciplined ball in this game, kind of like you did against the Commanders, this game could be a wrap for the Bucs because of the way their offense operates. So that's the Ravens' keys. Just clean up the penalties and minimize the penalties and don't commit as much penalties and be disciplined Monday night. The Buccaneers' keys are, I would think you would have to do these to win. Don't let them start off fast. That's number one. If you let them start off fast, they're going to go on its heels. Be careful on that, right? Just be careful. Just don't let them start off fast. That's number one. Number two, win the time of possession battle. Keep that offense off the field. Keep Lamar Jackson. Keep Derrick Henry off the field. Keep that offense off the field and win the time of possession battle, and you should be fine in this game. Number three, find a way to slow their running game down. Easier said than done, right? But if you can find a way to slow their running game down and minimize them to less yardage than they're used to, make them a little bit uncomfortable, that's a huge win for Tampa Bay in this game. So just find a way to slow their running game down in this one. Those are the 3 keys for the Bucs. Those were the keys for the Baltimore Ravens. This is going to be close, I think. I think the Bucs are going to hold their own in this game. Who do I have winning this game? Give me the Ravens. Give me the Ravens. I think you just said the Bucs are going to hold their own. I know. I think the Ravens pull it out. I think the Bucs are going to cover. They're going to hold their own in this game. I like the Ravens winning this game. 27-21. Ravens 27, Buccaneers 21. I really just think that they're going to get enough rushing yards and late, not early on, but late in the game. And that's what's going to be the difference in this game. And it's going to turn the game for the Ravens to beat the Buccaneers. So Ravens 27, Buccaneers 21. Ravens go to 5-2. Buccaneers go to 4-3 on the year. I think home field advantage can matter, but right now I think the Ravens go on the road, win 27-21, and the Ravens pull out the win over the Buccaneers close. That is our Week 7 preview and predictions for our top matchups for the NFL for Week 7. That just about does it for Pigskin Frenzy. Guys, a big thank you for taking some time out of this Thursday to just sit back, watch, and listen to some NFL coverage presented by me. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, like each episode, leave comments down below. Spotify, Podbean, and Apple, all you got to do is just share around with others and follow on there as well. X, Instagram, and Facebook, just type in Pigskin Frenzy. Follow like the pages there. You're going to get episode updates. You're going to get news and highlights from across college and NFL football. You're going to get trivia questions on Instagram stories. Go and answer today's NFL question as well as all things up to date for Pigskin Frenzy. Guys, check out the website, www.pigskinfrenzy.weebly.com. X and Instagram are the socials, not Facebook. Sorry for the confusion. Just only X and Instagram. Guys, it is a beautiful Thursday. Chilly out here. Go and enjoy your rest of your Thursday. We will be back Tuesday for our Week 8 recap of the college football season, our Week 9 preview and predictions for the top matchups of college football of Week 9. We're going to look at the AP poll, preview and predict the top matchups of Week 9 of college football, and recap the top matchups from Week 8 of college football. Until Tuesday, I'm Joel Norris signing off. We will see you then this Tuesday. Enjoy this weekend of NFL and college football games. Beautiful slate of games coming up this weekend. There's magic in the air in college and a great tough weekend of slate of NFL games coming up this weekend. And until Tuesday, I'm Joel Norris signing off. We will see you then. For everybody out there, please and always stay the course.